Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Philosophy in Music and Spirituality. Today I want to talk about monetizing your purpose, right? So if you've been following along with the last 4 videos, we talked about in video number 1, the identity crisis, and how actually not understanding your purpose is in line with not understanding your gifts and really not having a good grasp of your talents and skills. So in the last 3 videos, we spoke about your gifts, your talents, and your skills. Now, if you haven't watched any of those videos, then I'm going to ask you to go ahead and check those out because I'm going to be referencing some of the things that I spoke about in those videos as well. So check them out if you haven't checked those out. But today I want to talk about monetizing your purpose. Now, why is it important to monetize your purpose? It's obviously important because if you want to be successful in life, and if you want to be happy in life, if you want to feel fulfilled in life, then you obviously want to be doing the thing that makes you feel most fulfilled, right? Sorry to use that word again, but you want to do the thing that makes you feel happiest, right? So if you have understood your gifts, your talents, and your skills, and you've taken the time out to actually sit there and go, I understand that my gift, right? To recap, my gift is a thing that I give to the world, because by giving to the world, then other people feel fulfilled, then they're willing to pay me for that thing. And I also feel fulfilled because I'm doing the thing that I'm meant to do, right? So if I understand my gift, and then I use my talents, right? My talents are those things that are meant to help me fulfill my gift and develop my skills. And if I've picked the skill that gives me the best rewards, right? Whatever rewards I've chosen, whether it's fame, whether it's money, whether it's being able to travel, whatever that reward is for you, if you've picked the right skill for you, and you will ultimately feel fulfilled because you're using your talents to do that, and you also understand your gift, right? So if you've done the homework and you've taken the time out to understand your gifts, your talents, and your skills, you might still be at the point where you understand all those things, but you're struggling to monetize that purpose. You're struggling to monetize your gifts, your talents, and your skills. Now, if you remember what I said in the last 3 videos, I talked about how we can very easily confuse a talent or a skill for a gift. And it's very important, I think, to kind of make this distinction, because you can choose a skill, and I made this mistake twice. You can choose a skill, the thing that you've learned through hard work, through practice, and through just knowledge and knowledge gaining. You can choose a skill, but just because you've chosen a skill that you're good at, it doesn't mean that that skill is the thing that you're meant to do. So you can find yourself being very miserable, doing the thing that you're very good at, getting paid a lot of money for doing that thing that you're very good at, but you still don't feel fulfilled because maybe you haven't taken the time to really step back fully and ask yourself the question, is this really my purpose? Is this really my gift, right? So saying that, let's just move forward and say that you've understood your gifts. You fully understood now what your purpose is in this life. And you fully used your talents and utilized your talents. And then you've taken the time and done the due diligence to pick the skill that you believe will give you the best rewards for what you're trying to solve for, right? The problem you're trying to solve for. Then hopefully you should be on the path where you at least now are hoping that you can monetize that purpose. So let's talk about how we can do that. Now, I've successfully monetized my gifts, my talents, and my skills, right? So I've successfully been able to monetize my gift to help people in many ways. I've successfully been able to monetize my gift to be creative, getting paid to paint and to do art. And I've also been able to monetize my skills, which is like in music production, singing, songwriting, and mixing and engineering. I literally got paid to do those things. So I'm gonna try and explain this to you in the sense that how I got myself to that position of being able to monetize those 3 different things. I'm gonna talk about 2 different things, right? I'm gonna talk about your hard skills, and I'm gonna talk about your soft skills. Now, let's talk about that art example. When I spoke to you guys about, your talents and your skills, right, and your gift even, that is the thing that people must say to you you're good at. The true measure of whether something is doable for you is, are people actually willing to pay for it, right? So if you remember, I gave that example of me being paid to do art, and I was being paid to make music and sometimes to mix and engineer music, but ultimately it wasn't my purpose. Although I was helping people, I really wasn't teaching as much as I wanted to teach. I really wasn't kind of fulfilling my purpose. And again, it didn't solve the problem that was most important to me, which is, again, if I pick a skill, does it solve the biggest problem that I have, right? So if I pick a skill, if my biggest desire is I want to teach, does the skill I've picked actually help me do that? So let's talk about your hard skills and your soft skills and how that matters a lot with regards to monetizing your purpose and your gifts, right? So a hard skill is something that you learn through practice, through repetition, through intentional learning and experience. This is the thing that makes you the expert. It makes you an expert in that arena. It's something that not everyone can do. In other words, I couldn't take someone off the street, an average Joe, who doesn't know how to do this thing, and then give them some information and then they do it in 24 hours. Right? That's not a hard skill, right? A hard skill is something that would take years to learn, right? Something like singing, something like songwriting, being a personal fitness coach that takes a few years to learn, working in finance, working in banking, even teaching in school, for example. That's something that can take a few years to really be good at, right? So that's a hard skill. Being a professor, for example, that's a hard skill. Working as an accountant, right? That's a hard skill. It takes years of learning how to do that. To be a doctor, that's a hard skill. Playing an instrument very well, right? Not just playing an instrument, but playing it very well, that's a hard skill, right? You can't just take someone off the street and say, here's a guitar, play it now, and learn within the next 24 hours. They can't do that because that's a very hard skill to learn. So your hard skills are the thing that makes you an expert. Now let's say that you've done your homework, you've done all the hard work, you've gone through, right, that video of the gifts, the talents, and the skills, and you've understood what your purpose is. You've got a good idea of what talents you have, and you now have gone through the process of actually picking a skill that you want to monetize, right? So you want to monetize that hard skill. Here's the catch. The better you are at the hard skill, the more demand there is for you in that arena, in that field. Now, what a lot of people actually neglect is the soft skills. The soft skills can be described as being intangibles. These are things that you learn through life experience and mostly through relationships that you have in life, right? So soft skills are things like interpersonal skills, your communication, your ability to take feedback, to take criticism, your ability to actually kind of get along with the group and actually kind of get along with people in general, right? Even things like your overall demeanor, like how do you present? Are you a positive person? Are you a negative person? Are you someone that people like to refer to? In other words, if I refer someone to you, are you going to embarrass me or are you going to represent like in a very good way? And I'll give you an example here. There's many opportunities that I've gotten in my life where I wasn't even the best skilled at a particular thing, right? I was just new into the game. But because I had such great soft skills, interpersonal skills, the ability to communicate, to talk, and to basically get along with people, people felt confident referring me to other people because they just knew that I would represent them well. I wouldn't embarrass them, right? And on the opposite end of the spectrum, I know somebody who's very good, hard skills on point, right? But this person has just lost an opportunity, and this just happened, so I just thought I'll share this with you. Just lost the opportunity to travel and earn thousands of dollars simply because they have poor soft skills, right? Now, in this case, it was the soft skill of being organized, right? Now, being organized can be a hard skill. If you're working in an administrative job or a job where it's required for you to be super organized, like a high accounting job, maybe in a bank or in a school or an administrative job, then administrating and organizing can be a very hard skill. But if you're the average person, right, who's trying to monetize, let's say, a business, or who's trying to monetize a hobby that you have, lack of being organized, although it doesn't need to be your main skill, it must be part of your skills that can actually make you more successful. So when you're more organized, I know that I can rely on you a little bit better because I can see where everything's going. I can see how everything's going to work. You've told me how everything's going to work. You've told me what to expect. And of course, that's not what I'm paying you for, but the fact that you're organized gives me confidence knowing that you are actually going to deliver on the goods of what you promised, right? So being organized does not necessarily have to be a hard skill. It can be in some ways if your job requires a high level of organization. But if you're not still in the job which requires you to be highly organized, being organized can actually be a superb soft skill. Once you have a good level of hard skills, once you've grasped your hard skills pretty well, in other words, you know how to do the actual thing that makes you an expert, then you're going to develop those soft skills. Because trust me, I know a lot of people who are good coders, good developers, good accountants, good engineers, for example, but they can't get the work because they don't communicate very well, they're not very organized, they don't follow up very well. And so all these other soft skills, right? These little things that they think that's not my job, that they don't do, actually causes them to lose out on a lot of work, right? So I see a lot of artists who would say, for example, I want my music to be promoted, I want to be famous, and I want to make a lot of money. And then you begin to speak to them about how their engagement is, say, on social media, for example. I was speaking to someone the other day, actually, and I was like, well, what's your goal with regards to your music? And it's like, well, I want to be signed to a label. I want to produce music and be signed to a label and do all this cool stuff. I was like, well, what's your engagement like? What's your social media like? Oh, well, I haven't really been putting music on it. Okay, fair enough. You might not be ready to put music on there. Let me follow you. Where are you? Okay, follow me. I followed him on Instagram. And then he says to me, I'll follow you back. And I was like, cool. We've talked for about 45 minutes at this point. So I'm thinking I've got a good connection with this person. If they said they'll follow me back, I expect them to follow me back. I'm a potential fan of theirs, right? I could be the next person that loves their music and refers maybe 10, 20 people to them. And so I follow this person. I go on their social media and I look and I see nothing. There's absolutely nothing there. There's only but one picture. They've got a link tree in the bio. I look at the link tree and I'm like, there's nothing in there. I'm like, okay, fine, fair enough. I expect them to follow me back at some point at least, right? 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours later, they haven't followed me back. They've just basically ignored me. They haven't acknowledged the conversation that we've had for 45 minutes, and they've just completely ignored me. I'm a potential fan. So what happens then to me, and emotionally, in my mind, I think, well, this person doesn't care about me. They don't care about my business. They don't care about my support as a fan. Why would I support someone like that? Now, for all I know, they could be very talented. They could be very good at music, but I'll never know that, because guess what I'm gonna do? This person doesn't appreciate my attention, my time that I've taken to actually go on there and look at their profile and to actually connect with them and follow them. They haven't followed me back. They're treating me almost as if I'm the fan, right, who's supposed to be worshiping them before they've even released any music. And I see so many artists do this. They treat their fans almost as if they're second-class citizens. Like, you should be grateful to listen to my music. Remember, you need fans. Fans don't need you. There are hundreds and thousands of artists with millions of songs that are probably a lot better than your songs out there. So if there's that amount of option to listen to other music, listen to other artists who give them a better feeling, a better vibe, who are more popular, who have better marketing than you, then why should they listen to you when they've tried to connect with you and you've just basically treated them like dirt? Why should they do that? They just won't do that. So if you're an artist, I beg you, don't do that. When you find a fan, even one fan, don't assume that they're just one person. They don't really matter. I'm just gonna let them go. Because trust me, that one fan can turn into 5, and then that 5 can turn into 20, and then that 20 can turn into 40, 50, 100, right? You just don't know where those people can lead to. So don't treat your fans like second-class citizens. You must develop those soft skills of being organized, following up on the people that actually show interest in you and your music. And that will actually help you in the long run to become more successful, right? So yeah, your music has to be great. That's the hard skill of being a talented musician and an artist. But you also have to have the soft skills of actually being able to develop and nurture relationships with your fans and your core audience. I'm gonna give you a last example of another artist who messaged me recently. And on this one, I'm gonna talk more about the other skills that are not necessarily soft skills. They are kind of partially soft and hard skills. You can call them medium skills. And this artist messaged me and said, T, could you help me make a music video? Now, I've made a music video before, so they know that I make music videos. I make videos like this all the time, so I'm like, sure. I know people that make videos at a very high quality and a very high level. T, can you help me make a music video? Now, I don't make videos for a living, but I can help them make a video. So the first thing that I asked them is, what's your budget? Because I know people that could help you out, but I need to know your budget in order for me to know who I'm going to point you to. Because if you say you got 500, then I know that this is maybe the right person for you. If you have 100, then maybe that's not the right person for you, right? So I've got to know. And as soon as I said, what's your budget? Guess what they said to me? Don't worry about it, forget about it. Okay, so in other words, you just expected me to help you make a video, to take time out of my day, out of my life with the things that I'm doing, and just to help you make a video with no reward to me. It didn't say to me, T, I don't have any money right now, but I know that you're starting a business, so maybe I can refer several artists to you if you help me make this video. There was no deal there. There was no inspiration, no motivation for me to actually say, am I actually willing? Maybe I should help this person out because I can get something out of this. Now, here's the reality of it. There's no one in the world that would just kind of come out of their way to take time, money, and effort out of their pocket, out of their life, from their family to help you get ahead. As much as you might want to dream and think, well, my music is so great, and if my music is so great, why don't people just help me out? It doesn't work like that. There's got to be something in it for them. Now, the people that will support you because they love your music are your fans, and those are the people that you should actually nurture. But when you're building your brand and you're building a team, for example, you need to offer them something else. So this point brings me to the point of resourcefulness, right? This is the other skill that I was going to mention. Resourcefulness is both a hard and a soft skill. It's a hard skill because I see a lot of people who don't have much, right? They might not be very talented in terms of they don't have the hard skill of actually doing the thing, but then they've got a lot of soft skills. They're very likable. Right? I'll take Cardi B, for example. Not the greatest rapper, but damn is she funny, right? Funny, very charismatic. In fact, I would say that's the hardest skill, right? Being marketable. But she's very marketable. She is very relatable to her audience. And because she has all these things, all these stacked soft skills, very relatable, talks to her fans like their family, can be very easy to talk to. You can feel like she's your sister that you're speaking to. And because she has so many stacked soft skills, when she does develop a hard skill, something that she wants to actually monetize, people will say, you know what, I love you. I just love you so much. I feel connected to you. And so I'm gonna give you my support. And this is the power of having great soft skills, right? So again, if you're an artist, don't just focus on being a talented artist. Focus on being good with people. And trust me, I've arranged gigs for people who I just met. And the difference was not because they were the most skilled person, although they're very skilled, don't get me wrong. But the difference between me referring them and referring someone else was purely because I knew that they're so organized. I knew that they'll show up, they'll be reliable, they'll communicate well, and they'll represent me very, very well as well. So I was able to just say, hey, there's someone I know, work with this person, they're great, they're reliable, go for them. And they got that gig, they got paid very well for only less than an hour's work. And that's due to their soft skills. So don't neglect soft skills. Make sure you stack up on those. Remember, you only have 1 or 2 hard skills, right? 1 or 2 hard skills, because if you diversify, a hard skill takes you a very long time to get, right? A hard skill, the more it pays, the more it's going to reward you, the longer it's going to take you to develop. So you don't have the chance to develop too many hard skills and be super, super good at those things. So when you pick the hard skill, whatever field that you want to be paid in, make sure you know how to do that thing, of course, right? Now, what you're able to do, however, is to develop soft skills that can actually stack that hard skill massively. So once you try to monetize that hard skill, if you have these soft skills stacked up, your communication, your organization, your interpersonal skills, you're very likable, and you have all these things stacking up, guess what happens? You monetize that hard skill super, super easy. And then you tie into that the other medium skills of resourcefulness, right? And you're winning, right? You're winning. So I want to encourage you, if you're struggling to monetize your purpose, firstly, take the time to understand your purpose. What is it really? What is the thing that you're meant to give to the world? Because once you understand that, then you will truly feel fulfilled. So if you haven't watched those videos again, go back and watch the video about your gifts, talents, and skills. And that'll kind of shed more light on what those things are and how you should focus on them. And then once you get to that stage, then you can actually think about monetization, right? Making more money. Cool, I've got these gifts, talents, and skills. I've now picked this niche skill that I want to do. And if you're an artist, because I want to talk to artists and musicians and songwriters, if you're an artist and you're thinking, maybe I'm really good at songwriting, that's the thing that I want to really stack up on. I'm really good at that hard skill of songwriting. I've really dialed that in. Or maybe I'm a producer, you know, I can sing and I can rap a little bit, but my hard skill is really producing, and that's really where I want to stack all the things at, right? I don't want to diversify too much because I become too diluted. And maybe I'm a great performer. I can produce, of course, and I can songwrite, but I'm a great performer. Maybe I should work with other producers and maybe other songwriters and then actually stack up on that single hard skill. But the thing that I know for sure that you guys can all stack up on, we all can develop on, including myself, is the soft skills of actually working with people, being able to connect with people on a deeper level. Because that's the thing that actually makes people go, why should I go for him? Or why should I go for her when I can go for him? Or why should I go for him when I can go for her? Because she just communicates a lot better with me. I feel like I get along much better with her, and therefore I'm going to support that person. And that's all it is. It's soft skills, right? It's also the power in your marketing and your branding. That's where you stand out, right? So don't neglect those soft skills. Try to develop them, really zone into them, and try and stack up as many soft skills as you can. Those are things that actually don't take a lot of time and effort to learn, but they do take a lot of time and effort to implement and to keep applying day by day, day in and day out, right? So stack up on those soft skills. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'm going to talk more about monetizing your purpose and monetizing your skills specifically for musicians and artists. So if you're an artist, a musician, a singer, a songwriter, and you want to learn more about monetizing your purpose the right way, using 7th Century, using our platform, then I encourage you to click on the link below, go to our website, and sign up and become a 7th Century music artist. Now, you can also access the Learning Hub, which is a very cool platform, a very cool tool, where we'll actually teach you a lot of these principles that I've just been speaking about here, but more in depth, right? So if you're interested in doing that, then I encourage you to check that out as well, because I think that's going to be super helpful for you. Now, if you like this video, if you found this video very, very helpful, and maybe you enjoyed it and you think someone else would benefit from actually seeing this information, then do share it with them as well. And then maybe you can also discuss with them how you can all monetize your purpose together and help each other out on that journey. Because listen, it's very difficult sometimes to actually do this thing all in your head. So I encourage you to speak to other people about it, get a conversation going, and that way you can reach your destination a lot quicker. Cool. So if you like this video, do share with other people that you think might benefit from it, and please do subscribe and let me know in the comment section below whether you find these videos helpful or not, and let's get that conversation started. So I look forward to seeing you again in another week's time. I release these videos every single week on the weekends. Love you as always. Take care. See you in a week's time. Bye bye.